right, here we go, my friends. We are now on I-70, heading west, heading back towards California. We just wrapped up our awesome week here in the Denver area, and the whole reason for this trip, the excuse for this trip, was to go visit the TFL guys. But a little bit more about that in a minute. Let's go ahead and rewind back to the start of our trip. Oh, look, I'm on 3. So we started out in Silicon Valley, California, and the first couple hours we drove kind of through the flatlands of California. We were very careful to drive 5 miles over the limit only while on the initial leg coming all the way out to Denver, because we wanted to clock our miles per gallon really carefully and kind of see what was going on without driving crazy fast. And so in California, generally speaking, the speed limits are about 65. So we were doing 70 through the flatlands, and we got an amazing 30 miles per gallon. That's not with a battery. We held the battery. What I usually do is I'll use the battery for slow speed stuff, surface streets, or if we're stuck in traffic. But when we're cruising on the highway like this, I go ahead and click hold battery and then just cruise on. So we got 30 miles per gallon for that first leg going across the flats of California. We got 25 going over the Sierras from Sacramento over to Reno. We then stopped in Sparks, Nevada, just outside of Reno, where the Tesla Gigafactory is, where they're going to be making the Model Y, actually, next year. And hit a cool little place called the Recharge Bar and Grill, and got some food and also got some charge. They have a Tesla destination charger there. And we have an adapter, which allows us to use Tesla destination chargers. Go click on the top right corner to see a video on that. So we got a little bit of juice, we stopped for an hour for lunch, and we probably got maybe half a battery worth, maybe 10 miles of battery, not a huge amount. But from then on, across Nevada, across Utah, across Wyoming, the speed limits are 80 miles an hour. And so we're doing 85, which is actually conveniently the top speed that the autopilot system will allow you to do. And so we were rocking along, and we only got 22 miles per gallon across 3 states. And so that could have been a lot better, but honestly, going those speeds with this big a vehicle, it's honestly not a bad problem at all. And so actually, one piece of cool serendipity is our overnight halfway through was in right next to the Bonneville salt flats in Wendover. Yes, Wendover, Utah. And we got there just before sunset, and so we went out to the salt flats, and we got some amazing pictures. The salt flats are actually flooded this time of year, but both at the kind of the end of the road going into the salt flats, where there's kind of a sea around you, was really neat. And then also back towards the shore, where essentially you've got like a millimeter of water on top of this film of salt on top of the mud, made this beautiful reflection. It was absolutely amazing. And there was even wedding photographers there, no joke, out there, brides in wedding dresses and shoes in the mud and salt. It was hilarious. Thank you, autopilot, for driving for me. I don't know why people are slowing down. And then the next morning we got up and it was sunrise. Again, we blitzed out to the salt flats and we got some more amazing sunrise pictures out on the Bonneville salt flats. We cannot wait to go back there this fall to maybe see Speed Week, maybe just drive in the salt flats ourselves, etc. So that's definitely on the to-do list. So then we continued blitzing all the way across the highlands. The snowy terrain was beautiful. We were very lucky with fantastic, beautiful weather. But that being said, the terrain was all beautiful and snowy. And we got all the way to, what was it, Rock Springs, Wyoming. And again, we recharged. It was the Outlaw Inn and Restaurant has a Tesla destination charger. And so again, we got about an hour of charge, continued on to Laramie, Wyoming, and then turned south, coming down 287. That was interesting because we were coming downhill, because at the high point near Laramie, we were at like 8,000 feet elevation. And then we had to descend 3,000 feet to go into the Denver area. Plus speeds were much more moderate as we kind of wound through the mountains. And we got like 35 miles per gallon, so that was cool. Then we arrived in Denver, and we had such an amazing serendipity of geography, just the way things work. So we were at the Best Western in Longmont, just north of Denver. So we were a block away from a free charge point charger at the kind of a new strip mall right near there in kind of central Longmont, where all like Whole Foods is and various restaurants and stuff. We were also a block away from King Auto Detail. Big shout out to them. They are the reason why my car looks so clean on the TFL photo shoot. They did a fantastic job on getting the car looking absolutely perfect. We were all of like 3 miles away from Monica's work, so again, we were just battering back and forth. And then we were just 7 miles away from the TFL offices, where we went and did our cool little interview. We did an episode of Dude, I Love or Hate My Ride. It's kind of a silly name of the series because nobody comes on that show to talk about why they hate their ride, right? Of course, you bring your car because you love it, although there are some things that you don't like, that you hate, and I articulated those. For a sneak peek on that video, I'm going to do a little kind of behind the scenes kind of thing using dash cam footage and that kind of stuff. Go ahead and click on the top right corner. I'll have a link to that as well. And actually, once the episode comes out and is live from TFL, I'll put a link up in the top right corner for that as well. That was a freaking amazing experience. We had so much fun. Andre did the actual interview with me. Monica was also shooting some footage from her cell phone. We met all the crew. We met Tommy and Nathan and Roman. So funny thing, so in a video just recently, they were buying a Tesla, and Tommy had his laptop, his MacBook, and there was a CZ sticker, a check sticker on the top of his laptop. And so we asked him, what the freck is up with that? Because Monica is essentially half Czech. She's was born in Slovakia, and so it turns out Roman was actually born in the Czech Republic way back when. He and his parents actually ran a Czech restaurant in Chicago, was it? In Chicago for a number of years. And so Monica and him totally went off chatting away and having a great time talking Czech stuff, while me and Andre finished up with the test driving and that kind of stuff. That was cool. And he gave us a great recommendation for this Czech/European restaurant called Golden Europe Restaurant in, do you remember the name of the town?
Varda?
I'll put it in the text at the bottom, whatever the heck town it is. It's in the whole Denver area, the larger Denver area. Fantastic food, especially, I gotta say, the dessert, the blueberry dumpling was simply to die for. But it was a really, really, really good restaurant. Monica said the best Czech food that she has had anywhere in America. And that's saying something, because we've gone to all sorts of Czech restaurants, all sorts of places. It was really, really freaking good. So a couple more days of goofing around in Longmont, and now we're hitting the road back home. We've got another 1,300 miles to go. We're going to stop off tonight in Nevada, which is actually home of the Silver State Classic. It's another fun motorsport thing we're kind of thinking of doing. The Silver State Classic is this crazy on-road 90-mile-long race where you choose what speed bracket you want to be on. And then you have to, it's a TSD, a time, speed, distance rally, essentially. So, if you choose the 90-mile-an-hour bracket, you need to finish at exactly the time required to be an average of exactly 90 miles an hour. And people are really crazy about this. They have stopwatches, they have apps on their phones, they have GPS, etc. You've got to be within seconds to be on the leaderboard. It's actually really quite amazing. So we're going to stop off in Eli, and then, weather permitting, we're going to continue on 50 and go ahead and roll on out towards South Lake Tahoe and back home, and actually meet back up with 80 there in Sacramento and do a big loop. If the weather looks iffy, then we might actually cut back across over towards 80, because 80 is more of a real highway heading back in towards California. Now, one last thing, there's been this meme that Monica and I have had all trip long. Usually every road trip has some sort of meme, some sort of joke that starts repeating over and over again. And so this time, the meme is this song on YouTube, this meme song that's like 6, 7, 8 years old or something, but I saw it just recently because it was in a World of Tanks video back recently that Des Games did. It was really funny, maybe a year ago, but I remember it. Then I mentioned it to Monica, and she had never heard it before, and so I called it up the music video on YouTube, and we were dying laughing, and we've just been over and over again like, I've got bronchitis. So we're on Highway 70 now, one of the most amazing stretches of the interstate highway system. We're just leaving the Denver area. We're climbing up to the mountains. We're going to be going through the Eisenhower Tunnel, which is up at 11,000 feet. We're going to be going through the Vail Pass. We're going to be going through the, is it Green Valley Canyon? I can't remember the exact name. I think it's Green Valley Canyon, which is another amazing stretch. There's going to be beautiful, beautiful roads running for the next about 3 hours as we head towards Grand Junction. So I'm going to time lapse that and outro with that crazy meme song. Enjoy it, folks. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got her. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.